Star Wars gave us epic battles, cool spaceships, and unforgettable characters. But not everything was as perfect as it looked. Behind the scenes, some actors and stunt performers got seriously hurt while filming. From broken bones to lifelong pain, they went through a lot just to make these movies awesome. Here are some Star Wars stars who ended up with permanent injuries because of what happened on set. 1. Anthony Daniels. Anthony Daniels is the actor who played the golden robot C-3PO in almost every Star Wars movie. While fans loved the funny and fussy droid, very few people know how much pain Anthony had to go through just to bring the character to life. His experience in that shiny costume was far from easy. In fact, it caused him serious physical problems that almost left him with lifelong damage. When the first Star Wars movie was filmed in 1977, Anthony had to wear a full-body suit made of hard plastic and metal to look like a real robot. The suit was extremely tight, very heavy, almost 60 pounds, and didn't allow much movement. Once he put it on, it was nearly impossible to sit down, relax, or even go to the bathroom easily. He would spend hours and hours standing around in that uncomfortable outfit while filming scenes in hot, desert-like places. There were no fans inside the suit, no breaks to stretch out, and the design didn't care much about how a human body would feel inside it.
I had that suit in its entirety around me. It was horrible. I had completely lost connectivity with my body, the world. I literally blundered around the studio because I couldn't really see apart from the eyes in the center, and I had no idea what my elbows were doing, which were way bigger than my elbows. My shoulders were bigger, my legs were kind of trapped.
Over time, this started to cause serious problems for Anthony. Because the suit squeezed his body so tightly, especially around his arms and shoulders, it started to affect his nerves. He said his arms would often go numb, and sometimes he couldn't feel his hands at all. This wasn't just some small discomfort. It was something doctors warned could lead to permanent nerve damage. If he kept going without any changes, there was a chance he might not be able to use his arms properly ever again. Things got so bad that even simple tasks like holding things or moving his fingers became difficult after a long day on set. Anthony explained in interviews that it felt like his arms were slowly dying inside the suit. The pressure from the hard material cut off blood flow and made his limbs tingle and freeze up. For someone who was just trying to act and do his job, this was terrifying. Eventually, he told the production team about the situation, and they realized how serious it was. They made adjustments to the costume, like softening certain parts and giving him a bit more space to move. These changes helped prevent further damage and allowed him to keep playing C-3PO for many more years. But the early damage had already been done, and the memory of that pain stuck with him forever. Even in later movies like the prequels and sequels, Anthony had to deal with the emotional and physical toll the role took on him. Though the suit was improved over time, it never became completely comfortable. He often joked that he felt like a prisoner inside it, but underneath that joke was a real truth. His body paid a price for playing one of the most iconic characters in film history. Anthony Daniels never gave up, though. He kept playing C-3PO through all three trilogies, and even made appearances in TV shows, video games, and theme parks. But Anthony wasn't the only one who suffered while making Star Wars. The next actor on this list faced a terrifying accident that nearly ended his career. Second, Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is a Hollywood legend, and one of his most famous roles is Han Solo from the Star Wars series. Fans love Han for being brave, funny, and a little rebellious. But what many people don't know is that while filming The Force Awakens in 2014, Harrison had a serious accident that could have ended his career, or even worse, his life. During the filming at Pinewood Studios in England, Harrison was walking through the set of the Millennium Falcon, the spaceship that Han Solo pilots in the movies. Everything seemed normal until something went terribly wrong. A big, heavy metal door, part of the ship's set, suddenly dropped from above. This wasn't just any door. It was a hydraulic door, which means it moves using powerful machinery. The way it fell was so fast and forceful that people later described it as being like a blunt guillotine. It slammed down right on Harrison, pinning him to the ground by his pelvis.
So I wonder what this is. And the door came down and hit me on my left hip because I was turned to my right, and it flung my left leg up and dislocated my ankle, and then as it drove me down to the floor, my leg slapped.
The accident caused major injuries. Harrison broke his left leg in 2 places, his tibia and fibula, and also suffered a bad cut on his hand. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors had to perform surgery. They used metal screws to fix the broken bones in his leg. He had to go through weeks of recovery and physical therapy, and the production of the movie had to stop for a while because of the accident. What makes this story even scarier is that it could have been a lot worse. The UK health and safety investigators looked into what happened and found that the safety systems on set weren't good enough. The door had sensors that were supposed to stop it from closing if someone was in the way, but those didn't work like they were supposed to. The investigators said Harrison could have been killed if the door had hit just a little differently. The production company was later fined because of these safety mistakes. Even though he was in his 70s at the time, Harrison didn't let the injury keep him down for long. After recovering from surgery, he came back to finish filming the movie. That's pretty amazing considering how painful and dangerous the whole experience was. Harrison Ford is tough though. After all those injuries, he didn't just come back to finish The Force Awakens. He also went on to make more movies afterward, including another Indiana Jones film. His dedication and bravery, both as an actor and a person, are a big reason why fans still look up to him. Now let's talk about someone who wore one of the heaviest costumes in the franchise and ended up with pain that followed him for the rest of his life. 3. Peter Mayhew. Peter Mayhew, the man behind the beloved Wookiee Chewbacca, gave everything he had to the Star Wars movies. With his towering height of 7 feet 3 inches and kind personality, he brought the big, hairy co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon to life in a way no one else could. But what most fans don't know is that playing Chewbacca came with a heavy cost. Over the years, the role caused Peter serious health problems that eventually affected his ability to walk and forced him to step away from the character he loved. Peter was born with a condition called gigantism, which made him extremely tall. While his height helped him land the role of Chewbacca, it also came with its own set of challenges. Being that tall puts a lot of pressure on a person's bones and joints. His knees and back were already under strain just from daily life, and wearing the massive Chewbacca costume only made things worse. The suit was heavy, hot, and uncomfortable, and Peter had to stand in it for hours while acting in difficult poses. The role often required him to move in a hunched-over way to match the creature's walk, which put even more stress on his spine and legs.
Big knitting needles, size of drumsticks almost.
I also read that you went to the zoo to try and take cues off animals
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
the right animal feel. What animals inspired you the most?
The growling variety.
As the years went by, all that physical stress added up. Peter started experiencing constant knee and back pain. Things got so bad that walking became hard, and he had to go through several surgeries to try to fix the damage. He even had double knee replacement surgery, which is a major operation where both knees are replaced with artificial ones. Still, his mobility didn't fully return. Eventually, he had to use a cane and later a wheelchair to get around. Despite all of this, Peter continued to perform as Chewbacca for as long as he could. He came back for Revenge of the Sith in 2005 and The Force Awakens in 2015, even though his health was already declining. By 2017, though, his condition had gotten so serious that he officially retired from the role. It wasn't easy for him to say goodbye to a character he had played for decades, but his body just couldn't take the strain anymore. Peter Mayhew passed away in 2019, but his legacy lives on. And finally, meet a fearless stuntwoman whose rising career was changed forever after one devastating moment. 4. Olivia Jackson. Olivia Jackson was one of the top stunt performers in the movie industry, known for her fearless skills and incredible work in action scenes. She was a stunt double in Star Wars, The Force Awakens, where she helped bring exciting fight moments to life for the character Rey, played by Daisy Ridley. Even though she didn't appear on screen as herself, her work was a big part of what made the movie feel real and intense. But sadly, her career and life took a heartbreaking turn after a terrible accident during another movie shoot. In 2015, after working on The Force Awakens, Olivia was filming a high-speed motorcycle stunt for another film called Resident Evil the final chapter. The scene required her to ride a motorcycle at a very fast speed while a camera machine moved toward her. Everything had to be timed perfectly, but something went horribly wrong. The metal arm holding the camera didn't move out of the way like it was supposed to, and Olivia crashed into it at full speed. The impact was massive and caused extremely serious injuries. She was immediately rushed to the hospital and placed in a coma for 2 weeks to help her survive.
Next thing I remember, I woke up 3 weeks later after being in a coma, and then saw my family. Sorry.
Jackson was in a coma for 17 days.
When she woke up, Olivia found out that her injuries were life-changing. Her left arm was completely paralyzed, and doctors later had to amputate it. She also had serious damage to her face, spine, shoulder, and ribs. She suffered nerve damage that affected how parts of her body worked. The strong, athletic body she had trained for years was suddenly broken in many ways, and the doctors told her she would never be able to do stunt work again. Even though this horrible accident didn't happen on a Star Wars set, her work in that movie had played a big role in building her career. Because she had done such a great job in The Force Awakens, she was hired for even more high-risk roles, including the one in Resident Evil. That's why people still connect her story to the Star Wars universe. Her rise as a top stunt performer started with that film, but her career ended because of what followed shortly after. After the accident, Olivia shared her story with the world. She wanted people to know how dangerous stunt work can be and how important it is for film productions to protect their crew. Many people think actors and performers are always safe on big movie sets. But Olivia's story showed that even a small mistake in timing can change someone's life forever. She talked openly about the pain, both physical and emotional, that came with losing her arm and being forced to leave behind the career she loved. If you found this interesting, don't forget to check out more stories like this. You won't believe what happened on other movie sets too.